Here's a shocker. Your belief is not enough for success in life. Neither is it enough to find the success God wants you to enjoy. Why? Because belief is only 1/3 of the formula we were given to operate successfully in life. If you are following our Success in Life at any level training, you may encounter a time when what you are doing doesn't seem to be working as you had expected. I do 100% understand this feeling because it is common to all of us, even me. And I have had to re-examine the ground rules for how belief, faith, and trust actually operate. Even at my age, the discovery was stunning. Your success progress is not mechanical, but spiritual. Even though I describe the program in easy-to-understand terms, like 1, 2, 3 in level 1 and ABC in level 2, you cannot expect the process to be as simple as a wind-up toy, or like putting gas in a car for a trip. The process is dynamic, but it is always reliable. When you understand how we are supposed to deal with the issues of life, you will see everything in a new way. And I can tell you that any life-changing program is worth your commitment. If you follow the steps outlined in the Success in Life course, good things will happen, regardless of who you are. We are teaching the literal concepts drawn directly from the Bible. We only need to read more deeply into the instruction book to learn a system that is not taught in the success systems that are common in society. But to get the most out of the program, we need to re-examine the concept of faith. Today, I am looking more closely at the nature, composition, and operation of faith. There is more to this concept than we have understood, and the full impact will change what you thought you knew about belief and faith. So, let's get started. Many scholars will tell you that belief and faith are the same Greek word in the Bible called pistis. This much is true, but there is to this concept much more. Actually, the words belief and faith are linked, but not exactly the same. As you study any subject, you gain knowledge. That knowledge can become more than a passing thought, but can become a hard-held belief. Now, I have come to understand that belief is similar to a coin or a currency. If that is true, we can trade or exchange this commodity to get what we need or want in our life. Are we told that we can be or should be rich in faith? Take a look at James 2:5, where we read, "Hearken, my beloved brethren, hath not God chosen the poor of this world rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom which he hath promised to them that love him?" There are more references, but this is enough for now. If I held a $1,000 gold coin, it is only worth $1,000 today. You can hold the coin and treasure it, but it has no ability to multiply on its own. What I want you to see is that holding an asset, as it were a belief, is a passive condition. If you don't put it to work, it really doesn't improve your life. Yet. So I find someone who will take my $1,000 coin and put it to work in the marketplace. There is some risk to this transfer, but we know that if there is no risk, there is no gain. In this case, 1 year later, the man returns with $2,000 gold coins. I trusted the man before by placing my coin with him, but now I have faith in his ability to invest my money. So, time after time, I give the man another coin. Results vary, but he always comes back a year later with more than I gave him. So, I see 3 phases in what just happened, and all 3 are important to the success of the process. I hope you are beginning to see that my belief is, as it were, a coin, and it is kind of dormant in my hands, but when I place the coin in the hands of the investment person, it grows and comes back to reward me. The second phase is the commitment or transfer of my belief or currency to another person or program. This is when my personal beliefs turn into faith, because unless you don't take the risk, you have little more than an ornament to boast about. We are self-impressed braggarts, unwilling to put our beliefs to work when needed. Your beliefs are formed in your heart, which are built upon the various truths that we add to our core belief, which I call your belief system. The Bible tells me that there is something called a treasury in the heart that is composed of various ideas that we collect over time as worthy of later consideration. Over time, we elevate some of the very best ideas into beliefs, and that creates our belief system. So you might see why I illustrate that our best beliefs as a kind of currency or a valued asset. Your beliefs are a commodity that you can now trade to obtain what you want in life. But beliefs are mere ornaments if all I do is hold them and admire my assets. At some point, I take action on my beliefs and exercise faith. But I do not place my faith in myself. That is self-confidence where you hold the steering wheel and direct the process. This will work, but that means it's all on your shoulders. Faith is an exponential of what we can do to engage the energy, intelligence, and resources of others. So, the question is, if I only put my trust in my own limited abilities or in the abilities of another, we can turn our beliefs into acts of faith in people, operations, or, as I am suggesting, God, who has all the resources that we will ever need. I must put my coins or faith into the hands of another. But after building my beliefs well, and now willing to transfer my assets to another. Steps 1 and 2. But the next part is immensely important. So I find that the broad understanding of faith works like an equation with 3 related terms. Belief is step 1, faith is step 2, and trust is the 3rd critical ingredient. It should be obvious that the person of the program in which we place our belief or faith must be trustworthy. Belief, trust, and faith. These 3 similar words have very different meanings. A belief is what I've created and hold, as it were, a coin. Second, faith happens when I transfer my coins to another. Trust depends on the quality and character of the receiver of my coins of faith. For this process to work, we need all 3 to be fully operational. My belief must be based in truth and convincing for me to risk what I have. Second, to profit from the belief, I exercise faith in something or someone else. And the 3rd component is the trustworthiness of the person that I place faith into. As I said, this is not a mechanical process. It is dynamic and actually quite powerful. But if you get all 3 right, it will work every time. That is where trust or trustworthiness comes into the picture. I can listen to the weatherman to know how the weather is expected to be that day, but he or she is only partially reliable. Or in reality, my investment guy is only successful 75% of the time. How many things do not happen as expected or promised? Well, not so with God. Let's go to the big question. Is God trustworthy? You'll likely say yes, but we all harbor more than a few reservations, doubts, and haunting questions. So, the first lesson and necessary stronghold of your faith is the reliability, trustworthiness, and character in the one with whom we place our faith. So, if your view of God is that of a distant, distracted, and fickle God, then your faith is weak and whimsical. To say this more clearly, true faith is more than a belief because we are willing to put our full trust in the other side of the equation. This is why the very first part of our Success in Life training starts with something you already thought that you understood. I can ask 1,000 people in a church, "Do you believe in God?" And everyone raises their hand. But here's the real question. Do you believe that God will answer every prayer you pray? Do you believe in a literal 7-day creation when God spoke our world into existence? The quality of what we believe lessens because of our doubts. Do you believe that Jesus is coming back to earth at the end of days? Kinda. And on it goes. You see, I do not believe in the Big Bang to explain creation. I believe in a big God who could create a whole universe by the declaration of His word. Yes, I believe God can and will do anything because He is an infinite, all-powerful, loving, and wise God. If you make excuses for God, live in doubt of His resources and love, or imagine that He doesn't care for even the smallest of concerns in your life, then your Sunday school catechism beliefs are not enough, and your faith is little more than a tattered and worn cloth. We are told to believe with our whole heart in Proverbs 3:5-6. This is more than passionate poetry. This is taking what you believe and putting it 100% on the line. Look, right now you are likely stuck in your present status of unbelief, though it may not seem evident or obvious. The success in life at any level training will help get you past the failure points in your life. And the first critical belief is to comprehend who is God and how does He work. You cannot really understand the power of this first step as a lifetime core belief by mere acknowledgement of God's existence. The deeper you dig the well to discover who God is and how He works, the greater your faith and success factor will grow. Knowing God, truly comprehending Him, is a powerful and needful first step that most people take for granted and by assumption. This core belief, however, is a missing foundation that is woefully weak in its development. Imagine a child who chooses to crawl and refuses to walk. Foolish and unacceptable, right? The knowledge of God is a weak spot in most people, and it is also the very first foundation for success in life. This critical lesson leads me to strongly suggest that you start with the first book in the Success in Life at any level, which is called The Covenant and the Crucible. If you can master the first step of the Success in Life at any level training, you are going to see amazing strides beginning to happen in your life. Please sign up at the principletruth.com website, free of charge. I believe that your life is about to change for the good. How do I know this? God guarantees that His word will not return void, but will accomplish whatever it was sent to do. That's your first challenge. Do you believe that God can and will change your life for the better? Please join me for more information and find out.